The lies that sin told us. The first one is that it's just once. The bait of minimalism in sin, just once is never just once. It tells you it is just once. It makes you feel like you can get up and go down when you want. All right? That's what it has told you, and it has kept you in that bondage. How many stories of ruin began with this sentence? It's just once. How many addictions, entanglements, and regrets started with one small compromise, wrapped in the illusion that it will be over quickly? Romans 6 verse 16 says, don't you realize that you become the slave of whatever you choose to obey? You can be a slave to sin, which leads to death, or to obedience, which leads to righteous living. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? You become a slave to whatever you choose to obey, even once. You become their slave. This is the truth. Sin's strategy has always been to minimize the weight of disobedience. Always. The story of Adam and Eve. He told Adam, just eat the fruit, you will become like God. Eve didn't eat the fruit because she was evil, no. She ate it because she was deceived. It was just a bite, right? Just one. But that one ushered in death, pain, shame, and separation from God. The enemy always packages sin in small sizes, not because sin is small, but because he wants you to swallow it without resistance. He wants you, he packages sin in small sizes, not because sin in itself is small, but because he wants you to swallow it whole without resistance. You don't know when you swallow the whole chunk. At the beginning, it felt like just little bites, and one day you wake up and realize that there is a big thing on your throat. What started as just once, it's just one look. Let me just look at it one time, just one second, just one night, just one click. But it's never just once. The first act gives sin a legal ground to return. And that's what I want you to understand. That the first act, it gives sin the legal ground to return. Every time, every day. The first time you try, you've opened the door. The first time you try, you have opened the door that you might never be able to shut. Think of sin like a seed. One tiny seed can birth an entire forest of destruction over time. It doesn't always explode immediately. That's why it feels safe, but it always grows. It doesn't always explode immediately, and that's why it feels safe, but it always grows. That small lie becomes a habit. That first glance becomes a craving. That harmless moment becomes a prison. But here's the good news. Obedience works in the same way. One act of obedience invites God's presence. One yes to his word becomes a doorway to freedom. You don't need a perfect record. You need a decision to say no today. To that desire, to that craving, to that one time. It's just one time. Say no to it. Regardless of how harmless it feels. Here is what I want you to remember. Sin grows, but so does surrender. You're never stuck unless you stayed. Sin grows. It's never just once. It's never just once. That small lie becomes a habit. That first glance becomes a craving. And that harmless moment becomes a prison. It's never just once. Never.